being a humanities major and I was a comparative literature major, it just teaches you a dexterity of mind and a broad understanding of culture and history and the lives of people. And and I just think it's just such a very special education. And of course, I went to college in Seneca Falls, New York, which is, of course, the birthplace of women's suffrage. And so being surrounded by the memories of Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, and of course Frederick Douglass lived nearby, and Harriet Tubman's home was in Auburn, New York, just 20 miles down the road. And, and just that incredible history from the late 19th century America that, of course, is the foundation of all of our civil rights struggles and women's rights struggles and gay rights struggles that we've gone through over the last century, in which we're making so much progress on, and which are fundamentally about the ethics and the values of how we treat people. And that history is so intertwined with all the social justice work that is really the foundation of everything that we do.
How were these people or these historical references part of your life? I imagine there were placards and signs around the town, but how else was that part of your life?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I come from a mostly Southern family. So, and of course, I'm old enough to have been born in segregation, although, I was, a child, of course, when all the laws began to change. And so I don't remember it as, much as, of course, has been conveyed. But coming from a Southern family, visiting family in the South, as well as in the North, obviously the challenges of our country haven't been contained to just one region or one place. But, I think that we've experienced this in our lives. But in terms of my education and in terms of growing up in upstate New York, I think that it was much more richly conveyed as part of who we were. I remember at college, I took a lot of women's history classes. We had a professor, Rosemary Agonito, who wrote the book, A History of Ideas on Women. Many of my classmates were involved in establishing the Women's Hall of Fame in Seneca Falls. So it was just very present. And, it's part of our own histories.
Were you having conversations about these things with your peers, with your friends?
Oh, yeah. We always had conversations about this. It was one part of our education. And so it was part of our coursework. It was part of what we were. But also when you are passing a home that belonged to Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Mm-hmm. When you're driving, when we would go from Seneca Falls to, Syracuse for break, you drove by Harriet Tubman's home. Mm-hmm. It makes it very present in your life. I live in Washington, D.C. now, and so I live in a place that is obviously, very much a presence in the 21st century. But every day, you're walking past history. For many years, I lived at 800 North Capitol Street, which was also the home of William Seward, who, was, in President Lincoln's cabinet and who was the prime movers of the Emancipation Proclamation. And so to just live in that building and to walk up the stairs every day, you're only, at that point, you're only 130 years removed from that period of time. Mm-hmm. I just find that to be a very rich experience.